parking lot like a Walmart. You gotta park that way at all. Ever. Even when it's 30 below out, you never go here. That's just a spot you never go to anyways. So if you're gonna fish Poigan,
how's it going, everyone? What some crazy weather we have. I'm just giving a few guys a little bit of time to jump in here. No guests tonight. We didn't want to wreck everybody's evening here. It's Valentine's Day. We just got back from dinner, and probably going to be a quick, easy night tonight, and we'll get back into the heat of things next week. Rob, that sturgeon was a monster tonight or today. That's an impressive fish. A lot of caviar in the belly of that thing, that's for sure. I'm not a sturgeon guy. I don't eat them. Not big on the caviar, so that's why I really don't do it. You know, I got my Upper Lakes tag. Hopefully, I get it next year, and I'll go out there and spearfish. And I know I got some buddies that love it, and it's once in a lifetime thing. I think really for a lot of guys to get a fish, and if you can get to your draw on the Upper Lakes, your chances are obviously that much better. And it's fun to go sit for maybe a day or two, but I'm not one of these guys that could sit for an entire week. There's no way. I just got done watching the video that the Battle on Bago boys put out on Poigan, and as much as I would love to agree with kind of what's being said, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack from everybody here, but this ice it's getting scarier by the hour, and now we've got some pretty good winds ripping up. I know they were talking about no cracks and stuff around there, but there are a lot of cracks that are moving, more so on the north side of the horseshoe, and from probably right on the very edge of the horseshoe on the north side, straight out of Nofke's. I guess if you were to head towards Boom Bay, there's a bunch of stuff that's really starting to work and open up. The mouth of the river area, completely stay away from that area. That ice, the water was bubbling up through the ice where we've been walleye fishing. It is not accessible anymore. It is open. It probably will open up here, I'd be guessing. By tomorrow, maybe the next day, hard to say, but it's pretty much just a snow cone, at the best, out from the mouth of the river. Like I said, there are some pretty good cracks out there that are moving around. Some parts and pieces are starting to break apart, getting that, those floating icebergs, those floating ice cakes out there. And it's not just in one area, straight off from Nofke's and, off of Spruce, in that small little area, out in the middle. Ice is, I wouldn't say it's good. You probably drive, you can drive a UTV, ATV and stuff like that on there right now. But here's my biggest fear and why I'm going to probably refrain from taking anybody out here this weekend is, it's going to change drastically in the next 24 hours. The wind and the water and everything else that's on this, that's happening, is going to fluctuate and really eat and erode this ice, and it's going to get really soft really quick. It's 50 degrees outside, the wind's blowing 25, 30 miles an hour, and you've got water on the ice. The Hindenburg line has opened up over on the east side of Lake Poygan into Lake Winnebago, and that's going to give ice a chance to move, shift around. The cracks, the river mouth of the river is opening up. Just a lot of bad spots and a lot of bad things happening right now. That boy, it would have been nice if I think if we could have got the cold today, versus another 48 hours from now, I think we probably would have been okay. It would have been a lot. I would have felt a lot more comfortable. But always trust your judgment and trust your instinct, right? And I've been out on that body of water and this body of water my entire life fishing, and I don't get too scared, and I don't get real nervous, until we get into this later ice, and then I really start, questioning my judgments and trying to figure out, where to go, what to do, and it would be one thing if you're going to go right back to the same spot, or if we go back to the same spot where we've been fishing, but the problem with that is that's not going to happen. If we want to stay on top of fish, we're going to have to be moving around. There's going to be an absolute pile of guys out there. And right now I've got my point A to point B spot that I could drive to and feel safe. But the minute you start putting people and these fish start moving around and you got to start moving around, that's when things are going to get scary, because a lot of the sturgeon holes, the stakes have fallen out, with the melting and everything. Walking around and just looking at how the water reacts and how the ice reacts. There might be 15 inches in some spots, and that's what guys are saying. But when you're walking around on 15 inches of ice, you shouldn't see the water bouncing in a hole. Not on 15 inches of ice. At that point, that ice is losing its buoyancy. It's losing, its solidity. Drilling holes, when you drill in and, you start drill halfway down the ice and watch what happens. And when water starts pouring into your holes, that right there tells you that ice is pretty much on its way out. There are spots where, it's still pretty hard. I'm not going to say that there's not good spots out there, but it's not everywhere. When I went and checked some stuff a little bit east of Spruce, not even close to where the guys pretty much have their line of shacks for sturgeon spearing, I drilled into a few holes up into the shallow water, the 3-4 feet. Shouldn't be any current there whatsoever. And it was nothing but mush. I mean, literally, the auger was pulling up chunks of ice, and it didn't take but just a few revolutions, and it was, straight through. That's going to be kind of the case. I think that's going to happen all over on Poygan. Now, I'm not saying, guys, that ice isn't, good to go out and try. I'm not going to be the guy to take a risk. It's just not worth it to me. Last thing I need for, my reputation, my gear to break, somebody to fall in, just any little thing that could happen, just isn't worth it for me. Now Winnebago, on the other hand, I've talked to a lot of guys here the last, 3-4 days. And what's crazy, even when you look at the satellite photos, Winnebago got a band of snow, and I was praying for snow to hit Poygan. With that last storm, I wish we would have got that, that 6-8 inches. Yeah, I'm not going to be Alani. It would have saved our ice, because the sun the last few days has just absolutely beat it. In the mornings, guys that were going out and, you could go out in the morning, and heck, just, 3 days ago or 2 days ago, I still drove my truck out on the ice and felt pretty comfortable in the morning. But by the afternoon, everything changed. That sun, really starts to eat it. And like I say, it's just kind of like having a snow cone. It'll eat the top 2-3 inches. And by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, when we were getting off the ice the other day, you could take your boot and just kick away the ice right down to where it started to get a little bit more solid, and that ice is pretty much gone. It'll start to evaporate. The wind and the water will kind of blow over the top of it, and we're not going to get below freezing here tonight, and it's just going to keep eroding, and that water soaks in, seeps into the ice, turns it into a sponge. And at that point, all it's guys with ATVs and big UTVs and stuff, I'd be, pretty scared to go out and check some spots too. So that's my opinion. That's my experience. This happened 2 years ago where everybody thought, oh, ice is great. No, we drove our trucks out on a Sunday. We had a little bit of warmth and we had like 18, 20 inches. But, it was late ice. Granted, it was, March, but we're there already. We've already had those freeze thaw cycles. We've had, a lot of warm days, a lot of rain that has soaked into that ice, and we haven't had that extreme cold to build a whole lot of new ice. What ice we have is pretty well, got a lot of air in it. It's really white and colored, a lot of air bubbles, and it's not good ice anymore. We're at that March. And 2 years ago, I can remember taking guys out, we drove the vehicles off the duck in on Sunday, and by Wednesday, where we were pretty much fishing was all open water. It can go that quick. What happens is the ice just sinks, and we're going to get a bunch of snow. The ice that's going to be out there, some spots will probably be okay. The shorelines, that's probably the more impressive part of everything is the shorelines, how well they're kind of holding up. But that was 2 days ago. With this rain and runoff now, it's going to start to get eat the ice away. Hold on, I'm going to say good night to the little guy here. Oh, he wants to come up and say hi. All right, there's Xander. He's getting ready for bed. Give me a hug, kiss, buddy. Oh, love ya. What?
Good night,
okay, good night. Happy Valentine's Day. So, that I want to come home and be back by those guys. I don't want to have them plan a funeral for me. And yeah, all these questions and Troy, Troy knows the ice. I mean, he's up on the river, Green Bay. He fishes a lot of big water too. He's seen it. I mean, this ice will go pretty quick. It might be good one day and 24 hours of water soaking through in warm weather. Put an ice cube. I mean, heck, put an ice cube, outside right now and watch how quick it melts. My bird bath, anything that had ice in it, my pond out in the backyard, pretty much all completely opened up, just with the sun beating on it. And, that's just a little area that should have a ton of ice. But again, it's a personal opinion. And we need a salt report. Absolutely. I went up to Sportamotive here and got my mounts for my boat. So that's going to pretty much be my next thing is to get the boat ready. And I know we're going to get some cold weather here and, it'll probably firm things back up a little bit. But we're going to get that snow and it's going to hide a lot of the bad spots. I know, possibly moving forward, and I'm not going to do anything until after this warm weather. This snow, the cold, whatever we got coming once it's all done. And I'm going to go out and check things personally myself before I even think about taking, somebody else out there. Okay, so Andrew, we were talking about Winnebago. So Winnebago is in a different situation. Again, the shorelines on the West Shore are just a mess. The cracks are terrible. And stuff's moving around, and I guarantee you it's going to move around a lot tonight and tomorrow with this wind and warm weather. They've got all that rain over there. But over on the East Shore, and it seems like when you look at a satellite map, the top, I don't know, from Grunman Lane or so, or a little bit north of Oshkosh, South Neenah, it's supposed to, or it's got no snow, and then there's a line that goes from the golf course, North Shore Golf Course, down to County Landing, and then from there all the way south. Got that snow this last week, and that's what saved them. That sun wasn't able to sit there and beat on that ice. It worked on the snow a little bit, but in the evenings it got cold again and kind of stiffened back up. It helped preserve. Poygan hasn't had that. the sun has been beating on black ice, and I drove over Butimore again today too, and just looking at the ice, and it's scary looking. And when it gets like that, it's time to, really think about what you're doing. Again, guys, please don't take this the wrong way. I'm not telling you not to go on. I'm just going to tell you that I'm not going to risk taking people out. I know when to say when, and a few dollars and a little bit of money is not worth taking that chance to, like I say, we got equipment, we've got people's lives, we've got, my reputation's on the line. I guess I'll always err on the side of caution than to risk anything out on the lakes. And that is only having, a few guys on the lake. This lake, the lakes have been a ghost town this week. Granted, we've been catching a lot of fish, but that's been, because there hasn't been a whole lot of people out pushing them around. It's been pretty quiet on the lakes. Now, what happens, the more people you got driving ATVs and snowmobiles and all these people going on and off these landings and moving around, it's going to weaken that ice. And, what happens is this ice gets saturated. You're going to have one area that is going to have every single person that's going to fish out on Poygan. And what happens when you drive vehicles on water, whether it be snowmobiles, four-wheelers, cars, it doesn't matter. You create waves underneath that ice. And if you got this going all day long, all the time, with soft ice, you're asking for a lot of problems. It's going to break apart pretty quick. And, who knows? The only thing that we've got going for us, Justin just asked, you think the Thursday night freeze will help conditions along the shores? It's going to help. It's got to get cold, and it'll help firm things up. It's all going to depend on how much snow we get. If we get a bunch of snow and it insulate it, absolutely not. I don't think that cold's going to do much of anything, and it's going to be, it's going to be spooky. And we've only got one night of it. It's going to get cold for one night, and then it's going to get warm again, and I don't know. Like I said, I've been out here enough. I've been out on ice, late ice, and know when to say when. And until we get a little bit of cold, or until all this stuff is done, I'm not going to go out and check it. And I'm definitely not going to take people out and take that chance. Just use caution, guys. I wish you guys all the luck. If it was me and you had to fish the tournament, I'd probably take a drive over to the east shore of Winnebago and go off of one of those landings down on the east shore. And it seems to me that those guys over there have been a lot less affected by the weather than what we have over on the west shore and over on Poygan and Butimore. How's it going, Bill? Please, Bill, here, let me, I'm going to try and bring Bill Lodi in once. And Bill, if you're okay with that, I'm going to send you an invite real quick. And we'll try and get you on and see what you can talk to us about the East Shore. Because right now, I know people are going to want to come up and fish, and I want to send them to places that are safe. Now, I haven't been over there, so, and I don't plan on going over that way. But give me 1 second, Bill. I'm going to send you an invite. Here's what was sad is, I'm not going to talk crap about anybody. I'm not that way. But when we ran into Donnie Herman and the guys from Sunk the other day at Critters, they got done pulling the couple of vehicles that were out, and that morning was good. It was the ice was pretty solid. As the day went on, it definitely got super soft really quick, because all it did is freeze the top 3-4 layers or 3-4 inches of slush from the day before that everybody was asking, oh, where did you lose 3 inches? Well, when I can scrape away with my boot 3 inches of ice on the top part, that ice is gone anymore. Granted, it'll freeze back up at night or get solid, but that's not ice anymore. At that point, that's just frozen slush, and nothing more than having 3 inches of snow on top of the ice. There's no solidity to it whatsoever. And then when you talk to these guys, and they kind of give you a little bit of a look and tell you that it's junk. It's hard to go and argue with people, and I'm not going to. But let's see, we'll get. All right, Bill, I just sent you a link here to your Facebook. Check it, and we'll try and get you to come on. Bill's over on the East Shore. He owns a bait shop over there, and we'll get his kind of talk on what he's got going on. Do we have a board going on how vehicles going this year? I don't want to get involved with that. It's I don't even want to be there. I do know, and they made some, not going to mention any names, but when they're talking to me and say, oh yeah, we're going to have a busy week next week, that's sad. It really bothers me that they know there's going to be issues, and you can't stop people from driving out on the lake, right? The locals around here, the locals, you don't see many people going in, and even you do. The 2 guys that went in were local, that put their truck in. They drove into a spring. So those guys being local, knowing what kind of is happening on the system. Now you get a bunch of people that have no idea what this system is. And, you get those joyriders and everything else that just start driving around and driving into sturgeon holes or washout holes or cracks, or, heading to the mouth of the rivers. And I mean, all these different scenarios that, on a good year, people still do it and go in. Here, we're going to have a year that, we haven't had ice conditions like this on a big major event. And, as long as I can remember. So, Bill, did you get the link there, buddy? Let's see. Bill, I sent it to your Facebook page there. Okay, see if he picks up on it. Yeah, Corey, thank you. I mean, another guy, Corey, if you want to get on too, you can talk a little bit more. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I haven't even really ventured out a lot on the Winnebago this year, just because the conditions have been so bad to get shacks and everything on and off the lake on the West Shore. I have done some fishing in the bays. We were fishing the bays here earlier a couple weeks ago for some panfish and that. And, that's fine. You guys should have no problem, walking around on the bays net. But here's the other thing you got to remember too. Look out for any of the shorelines where sump pumps are coming in to, where the channels, everybody's got wells and sump pumps and stuff dumping water into already bad spots. I know, like off of Hickory and a couple of these rocky points, you got to be very, very careful around these areas, because that ice not only erodes from the top but from the bottom up too. And all the spots that normally open up first or late ice, that's going to happen. And the shorelines have been the worst ice period. Once you get out, a mile out into Winnebago, when I was out there, man, I had 16, 18 inches of really good ice here a week ago. I know it's getting soft, but that's, again, where a lot of the good ice is. The shoreline stuff and the landings. I did hear of a guy that we actually fish with, parked on the ice by one of the bays, and when he went to get off, the back of his truck and his trailer, went in. He was lucky enough to get out, but that was just in one of the shallow bays that people were using for parking. So It's going to change. I mean, you're going to put a whole bunch of people, you're going to move this ice around, you're going to create those waves underneath the ice, and it's going to start breaking up. And that's the worst case scenarios, because when these shorelines or these cracks or anything else start breaking up, you get all these little floating triangles and floating pieces that you drive on one side and you're going to go down. That thing's going to pop back up and it acts like a trap door. All right, I got Bill coming in. There he is. Bill, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Good, good. Hey, thanks for coming on tonight. I know this is a really, really touchy subject. You know, I don't want to be the guy, but unfortunately, you know, I'm just trying to spread the word, and I just hate to see, you know, I've lost friends to these bodies of water, and I just don't want to see anybody, you know, get hurt. And but you know, you guys over on the East Shore seem to have a lot better ice than what we do over here. You know, chime in, let us know what's happening over on the East Shore.
Yeah, so the tree lines are still out of Brothertown. Let me turn this down once. The tree lines are still out of Quinny. Quinny still has their vehicle bridges out. Tree lines go out 5 miles. The ice that we're seeing is pretty decent once you get beyond the landing. So there were trucks out yesterday. There were trucks out today. After this wind and rain, I don't know if trucks are going to even want to go out at this point. UTV, ATV travel would be better. So like, you know, Don Herman's recommending to do ATV, UTV travel on the east side. That's probably a good idea. But we'll know more once, you know, tomorrow's daylight comes and some guys are out checking ice and checking cracks. So we kind of have an idea what's going on out there.
Yep. It's blowing. I mean, I live out in Watoma, so it's coming, you know, obviously from the west over that way, and she is howling out there right now.
Yeah.
Got all that wind, all that water. You know, it's going to get interesting.
Right.
Even in on a normal year, you know, without having a big event coming up, you know, you get this is late ice and stuff changes, you know, overnight. And you just gotta be careful.
Yep, you do.
So you guys, if you were gonna send people out, which landings have the best parking? Where can guys not park on the ice? You know, there again too, try and not park on the ice if possible. You know, the last we've had that happen at numerous other battle on bagos, you know, where guys park and next thing you know, a bunch of vehicles start going down, and then you block the entrance to the landings, and now nobody can get off. So,
Right.
You know, what do you have over on the east side?
Well, the main landings that are good are Brothertown, Quinny. You have Ecker, Lakeland, Stockbridge. There's 2 main cracks right off the landing. So like 70 feet out, there's one crack, and then just a short ways out, there's another crack. So that's why they pull their bridge at Stockbridge. They have a very large parking lot at the harbor. But mainly the launches that have been being used most frequently are Brothertown and Quinny and Ecker Lakeland. So I would suggest going there. One of those 3 launches, one of those 3 landings would be good.
Okay.
But like I said, again, you know, we have to check tomorrow. We have to make sure cracks didn't open up. And with this wind, we got to make sure everything is safe and good to go.
Sure. Where can people, I mean, there's so many different fishing clubs, and I'll try and share, you know, there's, you know, the Brickyard, Otter Street, Battle on Bago. I mean, all these different clubs that are out there that you guys can, you know, search on Facebook. I'm sure they'll all give updates here in the next couple days. Or just give Bill a call. I know Bill's pretty in tune with what's going on. Corey at Fish Tales is on here too. You know, give Corey a call. He's been telling anyone from out of state that calls to bring a snowmobile or wait till next year. And you know, even at that, guys, I mean, if you don't know this system and you don't know the lake, there's so many variables that, you know, plays into this body of water. It's not just a normal lake. You've got a river system. You've got a lot of shallow rocks and areas, especially down in the south end of the lake. But like I was telling you guys earlier, is that snow on Winnebago was a godsend for you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of snow on the south end on the east side. No, like the bottom 3/4 of the lake got snow where the whole North Shore didn't get anything at all. And that's what saved saved all of our side, all the east side and the landings and everything. Without that snow, it would have been a mess.
Yeah. How is the north end of the lake? Have you heard?
I heard that they have the best clarity as far as like sturgeon spearing was going. There was no snow on the ice up there. They have one main crack off Fire Lane 8 out 3 miles that you couldn't get beyond.
Okay.
Wind coming. I don't know if that crack's going to open up anymore. No one will really know right now. So we'll have to do some more checking tomorrow.
Okay. Well, keep up to date with what Bill's got going on. Bill, you going to post on your page as well on Junkies?
Yes, we will.
So follow that, and he'll do his best to keep everybody posted there as well. And like I said, I'll do my best to tell everybody what I know and what I got going on. Again, I'm not here to pick sides. I'm just giving you guys my opinion from what I've seen on Poigan. Poigan is way different and in a whole different boat right now than what Winnebago is. Butamore,
Right.
Right now I'd just completely stay off of Butamore. When I was out there the other day, just drilling, checking ice, there, right off a sand pit, out probably 3/4 of a mile or so, I had about 10 to 12 inches of ice. And when I went a little bit further to the east, towards 41, I'd say maybe another half, 3/4 of a mile, there was all kinds of cracks in that area. And it varied anywhere from 6, 8 inches to, that 10, 12 inches. So there was really, really big difference in ice over there. Just, 20 steps away from each spot I drilled. But those cracks that we're working over on Butamore were crazy. And then driving over it this afternoon, it was getting really, really black. The open water extends well past Sunset and Oakwood right now from the bridge. So, that water's moving, and it won't take long with this wind, especially if Winneconne starts opening up on the north end there too, or up on the west end. If that starts opening up and you start getting the wind blowing and the current and the warmth, all that stuff's going to go pretty quick too. The other thing you got to remember too, with all this rain, we talked about it in numerous videos, is that every one of these landings has a culvert or a ditch that feeds into these lakes. So all this runoff is going right down the edge of these landings and into the lakes where the landings are. Guys driving off a Spruce. Always, this time of the year, there's always somebody that goes in off a Spruce Lane on Poigan, because right next to the landing, the guy's got an artesian well that is just pouring water out of like a fire hydrant. And, that eventually starts expanding and gets close to, where the landing is. And that'll open up really quick here too. So, just, if you're going to go out in the dark, use your best judgment. Check it out before you drive anything out there. But it's gonna be interesting, Bill. I hate to say it. It's gonna be. I think we're gonna see some people go down, and I'm praying. I'm crossing my fingers. I hope not.
But me also. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's not worth it. No. It really just is not worth it. Let's see. We got couple of people chiming in. It was still solid over the weekend on the north. Scott, the weekend's, way different than what it is right now. The weekend ice over on Poigan too is awesome. I drive my truck over everywhere and, felt real comfortable. But the last couple of days have changed drastically. So yeah. Well, Bill, thank you for joining, and we'll hopefully have a good, safe weekend for everybody. And wish you guys all the best of luck. And please keep us posted on what you guys hear on Winnebago.
All right, will do. Thanks for having me on. If anybody needs to find out more info, you can call the store, Rip and Lips Tackle, and we'll, point you in the right direction.
Hey, Bill, what is, let's see here. What is your phone number there?
920
Yep.
981
Okay.
4023.
4023. All right. We're going to put that. There you go. Ripple
All right.
Nips. That's the number to give them a call, and he'll give you what he knows.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks, Bill. We'll talk to you later.
Yep. Thanks. Bye.
Well, thanks for, it's always good to get everybody's perspective on what's going on. And I know over on the East Shore is way different than what we got happening here on the West Shore. See if we can't get one other guy in here. It's yeah, I don't know what else to say. Let's see if we got, has anybody else been out? I did get some word too. Guy that was over on Puckaway today said it got really shaky here in the afternoon. And I do know of one guy that went in here. I dropped the back end of his truck in over on Puckaway. Yeah, it's just that time of the year and it's just crap. Let's see. Sorry, I got a whole bunch of messages coming here. So please don't hate me. I mean, I'm just trying to help everybody out, and it's obviously important to use caution. But that doesn't mean that there are spots where you can't get out and fish. I think we're going to start working on getting the boats ready. Troy did an awesome job for getting the landings open up at the pier. So thanks again, Mr. Kraus, the Walleye Mafia guy. And he's always working hard to keep those landings open. What's everybody's weather right now? I mean, right now in Watoma, I've got rain. It's blowing. It's let's see, I think it was 47 degrees. And it not real good ice making weather. Let's see here. All right, we're trying to get Corey from Fishtails on here. He's having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we'll get him on. These guys are, these guys got, Corey at Fishtails over on, in Oshkosh on the north side of Oshkosh, right by one of the county landings. There he is. All right, we'll bring Mr. Corey in.
There he is.
How's it going?
Good.
It looks like you're in the shop painting.
Still.
What can you tell us about what's happening over on the West Shore by you?
Well, like I said, hold on, let me turn down one of these here because,
You're getting a little echo.
All right, I get so many calls from people out of state because they're not really sure what to do and they're looking at coming down, and I'm just telling them that this year's not, absolutely do not drive a vehicle on the ice, and they're, as far as the big four-wheelers or side-by-sides go, everybody I talk to, as far as the guides over here, the regular people who know what they're doing and are out there all the time, are saying that the travel's been fairly decent as long as you're just like on a four-wheeler or a snowmobile. But, and just like everybody today, I told them to call me back tomorrow because we're not getting a whole lot of rain over here. But if those winds get to where they say they're going to, that's going to be a whole game changer. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, waiting to see, is because the winds are going to do more damage than that little bit of rain we're getting.
Sure. See, and it was poor. I mean, just coming down in sheets here a little bit ago.
Okay.
Having like different, bands and stuff coming through. And from what I seen, it almost looked like we might even get some thunderstorms or something here too yet.
See, and they predicted that, and that's kind of what I was watching for, and that would have been bad. But I've been paying attention to it from the shop here, and we haven't, like I said, we haven't got a whole lot. It's just the wind's going to be our biggest factor on this side. You know,
Yep.
I know I just saw the map, and they're going to have the ATV bridges everywhere, and I realized that the guys on this side and the other side, I mean, all the clubs take care of that. You know, for a tournament like this, they're definitely going to be on top of it. But what I'm telling the guys who don't know the lake is the sturgeon holes are going to be a huge deal. You know, the sticks aren't going to stay. When stuff melts, holes get bigger. So those sturgeon holes are going to end up being, you know, big enough to swallow a four-wheeler pretty easy, in my opinion, by the time the tournament comes around. And if it gets cold and we get a little bit of snow, you could have a half-inch of ice covering a sturgeon hole. That's what scares me. And I keep telling these people, and I'm not obviously in the business to turn away customers or have people not come down, but it's not worth it. If somebody's going to get hurt, that would be a big scar on this whole weekend that's supposed to be awesome for everybody.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just kind of the way that I'm going. And I keep telling people, call the shop, you know, after tomorrow, and let's see what happens.
Yep.
So
And you hit the nail on the head, and that's exactly why I'm just putting everything on hold right now, because we're going to get, you know, one of my buddies is a big weather dude. And he's telling us that, you know, we're probably going to get, you know, a minimum of like 5 inches of snow on Thursday. So if we get any bit of crust ice or anything like that that covers up these holes, and we get 5 inches, 6 inches of snow on top of that, you're not going to see anything.
No.
It's one thing if you have your trails and you're going from point A to point B, point A to point B every single time. But I can guarantee you, especially for me fishing over on Poigan, those fish aren't going to stay in one spot. So now
no, and when you
moving around.
Also when you get that many people, they're going to be scattered around. The other issue is that a lot of guys who come down, they actually, you know, they stay out on the lake all night for the whole, you know, the whole tournament. Well, and I keep telling them, what you have to realize right now is where the track you take out in the morning when you go and set up camp, if you try to leave later, you might not be able to get back off that same way. You know, I mean, you're realistically with the crack going all the way around the lake, you're pretty much fishing on a floating chunk of ice.
Yep.
That can move to the east side, to the west side. It's just one of them things where this is you know, the Battle on Bago is an awesome tournament, and it's a fun time, but it's only fun until it's not. And right now might be that year that you just, again, I'm not trying to tell people not to come and not to do it, but if you do it, man, just use extreme caution. I mean, you and check with the bait shops, you know, call me anytime, you know, call us to the shop, and you got Bill on the other side of the lake. Between the two of us, we can pretty much keep you, you know, we're both going to keep you as safe as we possibly can, because that's just good business. And, you know, you have to, and this year is just a very strange year. I've never seen nothing like this before. So
no, and I haven't either. Corey, what's your number?
920-385-1154.
Okay, hold on here. We're going to put the 920. What is it?
385
385
1154.
1154. Okay. All right.
And I know that you know, Bill talks to all the clubs and everything on the east side, and I pretty much talked to everybody on the west side. So like I said, between the two of us, you can pretty much get up-to-date information as you need it. And we're both, I mean, I talk to Bill all the time. We're both in that same boat where, you know, yes, we're both in business, but we also want everybody to have fun, be safe. And if it's not safe, we're going to be the first ones to tell you.
Yep.
So,
and you can't stress it enough. The last thing I want to do, I mean, I can't tell you how many trips I've got lined up yet for the whole rest of the year. I mean, it's a good chunk of change. And am I willing to lose it all? Yeah, because no life is worth, you know, a couple $1,000s. It just, it's not worth it.
It's not. And you know what, when it comes down to it, it's just fishing. And I got to tell you, you know, me and my wife are here running the shop every day, all day. And every single time that fire rescue goes by pulling the boat, my heart literally just sinks into my stomach. So I'm like, oh, come on, please don't let this be something major. I mean, business can be great and you can be going and everything's going good. But when you see that truck go by with the lights and sirens and pulling a boat behind it, or a rescue boat, then it becomes more than just having fun fishing. Now you're dealing with people's lives, and that's not good.
You know, it's a customer of yours. It's a customer of Bill's.
Exactly.
It's a friend of ours that, you know,
Yep.
we don't know. It could happen to any one of us at any time.
Sure.
And, you know, if you're a betting man, I'm going to bet on the side of caution this year. I mean, it's just be smart about it, honestly.
And like I said, that's what I'm telling everybody who calls. I'm telling you that I wouldn't do it. I would not put my vehicle on the ice, and I would just wait. You know, like I said, once again, when you cut through all the excitement, everything else, it's still just fishing. So, you know, we're going to have another year. We're going to have ice next year. Just if you don't know the lake and if you're questioning it at all, find something else to do.
That's it.
That's the best way I can tell you.
And that's kind of where I'm at. You know, when my instincts and my gut tells me to not go out there, I'm going to listen to my gut. You got that funny feeling in the bottom of your stomach. You know, even, you know, coming off here, you know, yesterday, on Poigan, a couple of cracks opened up that weren't there the day before, and driving the snowmobile across it, we pushed water. I mean, you could tell that that ice is not it's not staying afloat like it was, you know, a week ago. We pushed water out of the cracks when we came across just with the snowmobile. So
and that's what I keep hearing too, is guys saying that, you know, because I've got guys who, you know, are in here every day and they're going out, you know, every morning. And I'm like, hey, if you can, once you get out, can you please give me a call, give me an update? And they do. And it's like, yeah, when we came out, it was fine, but getting back off the lake was, you know, interesting. Yep. So it's just that thing where, you know, and just like you said, trust your gut. If it seems like you're a little sketched out on it, just scrap it for this year. And you know, as much as I hate to say that, I really do. It's hard to say that, but we don't need to be in the news for something stupid. And it's still just fishing.
The fish will be there, you know, when the ice goes away.
Right.
And the fish will be there next winter.
Yep. But that's the best I can tell you. And if like I said, we'll know so much more after tomorrow, after these winds come through, and see what it does. You know, call me, call Bill, and get a current update on what's going on.
Sounds good. Corey, what are you going to be open? What's your hours here this weekend?
This year, we're going to do 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Thursday and Friday. And then we'll be back to our normal 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. every night. So we're not doing the all-nighters like we did before. I just don't feel the need this year. But we will stay open until 10 because we do still have Battle on Bago tickets for sale. And we try to accommodate so people can get them at the last minute, especially with this weather and stuff going on. I know a lot of people are waiting because I noticed that with the ticket sales. So we will be here selling tickets and everything else until 10 o'clock.
Yep, and you got plenty of live bait. He's got a lot of awesome custom painted stuff, even though I'm not a fan of custom painted jigs. No,
yeah,
you know,
we actually just got all 6 bait tanks loaded completely full, as much as we could possibly hold, so we won't run out of bait.
Here's the thing I will say about Corey's custom paints is that he does it right. He does the bolds. He doesn't get super fine details, and he does have a lot of nice stuff. So I know he did some of our original custom painted Swedish pimples back in the Reel Shot days, way back when, and he does really. Yeah, he does a nice. What's funny is I can remember coming into your shop, and you know we were discussing about the whole custom thing. It's like, you think people will really pay for that? I'm like, oh yeah, they will.
Yeah, I was afraid you'd bring that up.
And here you are 10 years later, and you know that's a major part of your business. So
yeah, absolutely. So
yeah, how do you get started with painting? How did you get started with painting lures?
Yeah,
I think you do the first.
Between you and Corey Clark.
Yeah. Okay. We'll take our commission checks here at the end of the year.
They're in the mail, Troy.
No, you're a good dude, man. Thanks for everything you do over on that shoreline. And I wish I lived closer. I don't get over there as much as what I used to anymore.
Yeah, well, we're all busy.
Yeah, that we are. Well, cool. Does anybody have any questions for Corey at all? As long as we got him on, please. Now's the time to ask. How's business been good for you otherwise?
Oh yeah. I mean, the bite's been that's the whole problem with this is the bite's been really good. I mean, the perch are huge. I mean, the perch are just stupid huge, and they're such gluttons where guys are all saying, I caught a 13-inch perch and it had 3 minnows in its mouth besides my bait. So the bite's been so good that it's hard for people not to go out. I mean, I haven't gone out because I can't drive my truck out. And it's killing me not to get out there because I see these guys keep bringing in pictures of fish they're catching and everything else. Like, wow. I mean, I haven't seen perch like that in this system for a long time. And it's nice because they're still also getting some small ones. So that tells you that this cycle is actually going in the right direction.
Yeah.
The walleye bite's been tough, but, when guys are catching 13-inch perch and 9-inch walleye, the system's doing pretty good. So as far as people going, I mean, Asylum Bay this year for bluegills was amazing. Guys were just pounding them. So yeah, it's been a very good season. It just normally Battle on Bago is kind of the end of it. It's kind of I always tell people because I owned all the bars before this that Battle on Bago is like our New Year's Eve at the bars, and you hate to have that go out in a bad way. So it's kind of a weird year because it's been such a good year, and it's going to end on this kind of note that I really hope goes good, but it scares me a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I'm getting ready to get the boat out.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, I think we're all past the point of we know the ice ain't going to be here long.
No.
Only getting worse as as each hour goes by, and at this point, it's just I think time to get the boats out and let Mother Nature do her thing. She's been.
There's no reason to fight it. I mean, the fish are going to bite whether you're on the ice or on the boat. So let's just move on and take what it gives us and go from there.
23 years of doing this, I still haven't figured out how to control the weather.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But if you've watched the weather forecast, they're just guessing anyway too. So they haven't either.
Yep. For the guys that are, going to be coming out, what kind of fishing report do you got over for Winnebago?
Like I said, the normal spots, 2 miles, 3 miles off of Merritt, they're doing really good. The guys in the back of Asylum Bay and Culling Bay are doing really good on bluegill still. I really haven't heard anything great on walleye. Walleye been spotty. They just don't seem like they've schooled up this year like they normally do. Where guys are, somebody will pull up a 20-inch walleye, and that'll be the only one. But they're getting 13-inch perch, so they're certainly not moving any place.
Yeah.
But like I heard you say earlier, a lot of guys now that have the live scopes and everything has changed stuff where they're saying you can see a school of these bigger fish, but they're not moving because there's so much feed in the system, and there's not all the vehicles and the traffic out there pushing them around. So they're not, normally you can go out on Bago, you can, you park in the little village out there, and that school swims and it disappears for 15 minutes and it comes back. Well, what I'm being told is that these guys are seeing them on a live scope and the fish just aren't moving. They're just sitting there until you go try to drill a hole over the top of them and then they scatter.
Yep.
So, the fishing's been great. It just sucks that the ice isn't. So It's kind of one of them things where, I guess that just leaves more for next year.
It definitely is going to save a lot of fish for next year, for summer and spring. That's for certain.
For sure. Yep, absolutely.
I can tell you, and here I'll give an update, a report on Poigan is that, we've been catching so many white bass. 100 a day, just piles of white bass. And it's been nonstop, honestly. And these schools are so big. Watching them on the 360, I don't think you could literally put another fish on an 80-foot circle on my 360 when we're on them. I mean, there's that many fish around.
Well, and see, that's the thing is now if we had great ice, you'd be out there and all your clients would be catching 200 fish a day.
Yeah.
It just seems like it balancing itself out. The fishing's great, but the ice sucks. So you're not going to go clean the lake out. I don't know. Is it Mother Nature taking care of herself?
Oh, she always does.
Yep,
and as
pretty
far as walleyes go, I've never seen walleyes like I've seen this year. I mean, the thousands upon thousands of walleyes we've been drilling in every morning and every afternoon, and it's a lot of times even middle of the day. There are so many walleyes on Poygan, but you can't get them to eat. They swim by your bait and they don't even look. They're swimming.
See, and I've been hearing that too, that every fish that people are cleaning are so full of,
Yes.
what's that?
The trout perch.
The trout perch. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking
The
log
ground
perch, but trout perch. Yeah. So there's so much feed in the system right now that, and like I said, it's a great thing for the future. It just sucks at the moment,
Yep.
So that's how I look at it. It's, I look at it like okay, well, that's a good thing to sustain our businesses for the next 10 years type of thing. But it sucks at the moment when the walleye are just like, yeah, we've had enough to eat. We're good to go. So,
Yep. Yeah. It's, normally on a normal year, we fish a lot of tip ups, and it's nothing to go out and set tip ups on a school of fish and, and catch, you're going to catch a few, right? I caught one walleye this entire year on a tip up. One.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
so if that tells you something, I mean, that's kind of what's happening. And these fish, they're full. We were, the spots we were fishing the walleyes, you could sight fish them in 3 feet of water. And one day I was watching down the hole. I didn't have my camera with, so I just laid down in the ice and I'm watching down the hole. And it's just, I'm not kidding you. It was like looking in your minnow tank. I mean, just constant walleye swimming through. And, everything from, there are a pile of 10, 12 inches out there. And we see, 5, 6, 7 pounders swimming through. But what was crazy is I was doing that, all of a sudden it was like somebody pulled the lottery machines or a bingo thing where all of a sudden the ball will pop up in your little hole. So I'm sitting looking down the hole, and all of a sudden, the whole hole is full of shiners. Like somebody just pulled a basket of shiners, and the current was coming through, and a whole school of them came up, and there were 50, 60 shiners sitting inside my hole. So when you got, T-bones and porterhouses and stuff swimming around 24/7, right in front of these walleye's face, your little metal spoon ain't going to do nothing.
No. Well, and the only other thing different that I've noticed is that normally, you must have seen pictures of all the burbotts they're catching.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's not normal. Normally you've got right before the ice turns to crap, you've got like a 2-week window. Them guys have been pounding them things for over a month now. So that just kind of tells you that the whole system's just a little bit shaken up this year. That I've never seen that many burbotts caught in all the years I've been here. Guys usually go out and it's like, oh, they're biting, and a week later they're done. Where these guys are they're just hammering them. So yeah, everything's just a little strange this year.
Yep. Well, thanks for man.
All right, appreciate you having me on.
Yep. Have a good night, and good luck with everything this weekend. And anybody that wants to give you a call, there's your number at the bottom of the screen. Give Corey a call.
Definitely call, and we'll give you all the information we can.
Stop in by his shop. He's right on County Road A, just north of Oshkosh, south side of Neenah. Can't miss it. He's right next to the post office. So he's got beer, bait, sodas, snacks, everything you need for the weekend. So appreciate it, Corey.
All right. Thanks, Troy.
See ya.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. You got two of the main guys on Winnebago that talk to more people than what I could ever imagine, and pretty much right from the horse's mouth. So, give them a call. The next 24 hours. This weather is going to play a big part in what happens here for the rest of the weekend. Corey say it's raining pretty good in Omro now. Yeah, we just had. And I was looking at the radar, the history, and it did look like a big band of rain of reds and oranges and stuff went right over Oshkosh here not too long ago. And they've got a bunch more, coming, heading right for it. You can see the radar here. That was the band that went over, and that's what's coming. So there's a lot of rain that's going to be coming here. It looks like throughout the entire night. But then you got to remember too, look what's going to happen tomorrow. We're going to have all this rain, but come Thursday, it's going to turn to snow. And whether it's heavy snow or light snow, obviously that'll probably make a difference too. But it's gonna hide everything, and that's what we don't need. That's it. I don't know what else to say. It's kind of like a broken record. Just use caution. And good luck to everybody. Maybe, go and I wish they would have just done like a big raffle or something like that. Everybody could have just thrown their tickets in, and I think they would have sold more tickets, and they could have had a big party, sold a bunch of beer and food. And if guys wanted to go out and fish, they could have went and fished, but at least this way here, you're not forcing the hand to go out and try your luck, and hopefully nothing happens. I know everybody's praying for that, but at the end of the day, it's your own decision, right? And we can't make the decisions for you. All we can do is tell you, what we see and what our experiences are. So, other than that, I'll be back out checking. And, I will keep everybody posted from what I find and what I see. And that's all I can do. We'll try and, like I say, stay above the ice and keep everybody safe and dry. And, feel free, guys, message me and I'll tell you what I know. And, Corey and Bill will definitely tell you what they know. And, give Critter a call over in Winnebago. He'll probably stay pretty well up to date on far what's happening over on the upper lakes. And that's all I got for you. So good luck, everybody. Thanks for joining here again. And this will be live, or this will be redone here, and you should be able to rewatch it, share it, whatever, and kind of get get it out there, spread the word, whatever. Again, I'm sorry. I don't want to be the burden of bad news. I'm not here to be negative. I'm just here to not see somebody die or, get hurt. And, that's the only reason, we decided to kind of do this tonight. So thank you again. And, we'll catch you guys later. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. And, we'll try and do an update, each day, through the week here and let you know what we're seeing. Talk to you guys later.